time. Get ready to rumble. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Okay, so this is jam time. I'm here with our street performer edition. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
I'm Lionel Miller.
I'm Michael Miller.
Lamar Roberts.
Joseph Edwards.
And you can see these guys on a regular basis on Broadway, up and down the way. You guys are usually at 9th and Broadway, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Lamar, you're usually more towards Roxy's, right?
10th and Broadway.
10th and Broadway, okay. My bad.
Sure spot.
And Joe, where do you frequent?
I'm a roamer, it depends, yeah.
Alright, so-
Usually on Broadway or 9th. The corner there is a good spot, good nook for me to set up in, so.
And what kind of stuff do you usually have when you're playing, Joe?
It depends on how much I want to carry that day, but sometimes the battery-powered amp, loop pedal, guitar, and the cajon. And I'll do some loop work with it, and then sometimes I'll just haul the drums down. Bring a didgeridoo with me, anything I can pack on and take with, I usually set up with. So.
Alright. And Lamar, as people saw earlier, you play the flute. So
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about playing the flute?
Just the sound.
You were
the
talking
reaction.
You're talking about what made you want to start playing the flute earlier. I thought that was a good story.
Well, when I was a child back in the early 70s, there was a song by Isaac Hayes, and it had beautiful flute music in it. It was for the Shaft album, but the album hadn't even come out yet. And I just knew that was my instrument. The music was just perfect for me. And it's been that way ever since.
Mm-hmm. And how did you guys come to play music? Obviously, you knew each other already. If you didn't know, they are brothers.
We've been playing music together our whole entire lives. And actually, how we started doing street music is one day I saw other street musicians out, and I thought it would be cool, so I just kind of took my keyboard out and started playing, and it was nice. And so I just called my brother up and asked him if he wanted to come and jam, and that's just how it started.
And how long has everyone been doing this now?
The busking thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is our second. We've been doing it during the summer months. Our second season, I guess you want to call it. So yeah, all together probably it'll go on about almost a year. Yeah, for us.
Lamar, how long have you been street performing?
I've been a street musician pretty much since about actually since the 90s. Come to think of it, yeah. On and off since the 90s, but pretty steady since '05.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe, what's your story?
Yeah, I've been doing it about 4 years now. Just about that. Ever since I moved to Columbia and moved up in here, and then we started to roam around and had a good spot for it,
So I was thinking that we could try to compare and contrast here amongst the three groups we have, some favorites and least favorites of street performing. And just so maybe people can understand how street performers are out there, because obviously everyone understands when they see you what it's all about, but from your perspective, what are the best parts about it and things that could be better?
I think it's just the atmosphere, the meeting people, making it seems like when you play, it makes people happy, and that makes me happy. That's one of the really best things I like about street performing.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole give and take. On the one hand, when people come up to you and they're like a most extreme example is when their eyes are like glazed over and they say, I had a really bad day today, and I'm so glad that you guys are playing because you cheered me up, walking down and I wasn't expecting this, so that's cool. Thank you, keep doing it. When they say that, that's the cool part. And then to be able to express something that's really honest and real and have someone accept that you know, on the face of it for what it is without apology, you know, is that kind of validation. And so you get this reciprocal thing where their day is made better, and then they accept what you have and it's your real stuff. And so you're both just kind of healing each other with it. That's when it's working. That's when it's worth being there.
All right.
You know.
That's awesome. Lamar, what you think about that? What's the best?
Well, you know, when someone comes up and says, "Oh man, can you play my jam?" and I actually know what they're talking about. You know, because there's only so many songs that they actually think is their jam, and they said, "Man, it's so cool you play that song," because no one probably even thinks about that song anymore. And I probably play it like 30 times that weekend.
Yeah.
But and to see, like, say when I break into yeah yeah yeah, and women start twerking, you know, and stuff.
That's
It's
pretty
just
awesome.
yeah, you could, because you take people out of themselves, you know. People who you wouldn't usually dance. Yeah, a lot of it's alcohol fueled, but it's certain music just, you know, makes that one thing in them just click, and they go somewhere, and sometimes their friends say, hey, come on, and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So.
Joe?
Yeah, mine's the dance-offs for sure. Yeah. It's definitely the dance-offs, the random, you know, choreographed dancing, whatever it is. Like, people are, you know, they'll have been walking and they just bust into dropping it down, and every time that's what makes it worth it for sure. Yeah.
And what could be better?
If people could ask to sing before they just grab the mic and start singing, that would be a good thing.
Getting all handsy with the equipment.
Yes, definitely.
When they also want to be a part of the band, I think when they feel like they can do each one of the band members' jobs as well as you can, and they want to show you, or they feel like, hey, it's time for them to be the guest in the band, and so they want to sing like 5 or 6 songs, and they can't sing and they can't play an instrument. So it's just kind of an offshoot of that, where they like, tonight is my night. My friends get to see me, and so that should be reason enough for you to stop busking and let us do it. So I think audience participation goes only so far. So I think that's part of it.
It has its place. And
It's
it's appropriate.
Exactly.
And Lamar, what you think?
Well, you know, one thing that could be better, which probably never will, is, you know, the attitudes of a lot of people. They think that street musicians are like, you know, these hobos that sleep in the doorway, and we just get out this hundreds and hundreds of dollars of equipment that we've got in our back pocket.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they would really just think for a moment and realize that we're people with homes, jobs, bills, you know, and we're not just doing it just for the fun. We're doing it. We would also like to show your appreciation by tipping us, instead of showing your appreciation by giving us £1. You know, or telling us how awesome we are. You know, our teacher did that. Do we know this?
Right.
You're awesome. Why don't you go play on the street?
Sure you got?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the same things, like the hagglers. You know, if anyone posts up around you and starts saying things, you know, that's always the worst.
What's the worst thing anyone's ever said that really got to you?
Probably just like hollering for money or women or something like that. You know, music always draws in the crowd. Like, no matter what the crowd may be, it's gonna happen, and some stick around, some dance it off, you know. And but I guess also having had traveled doing performing, it would be to be able to play anywhere. In towns, in cities, stuff like that, you know, 'cause you have to get permits and things like that, and that's, you know, I guess it's understandable for certain reasons, but if you're performing, perhaps a little leniency with that, you know. So I know we ran into it a lot, and having traveled and just couldn't play a lot of places that we wanted to. But
So does anyone have any closing words that they'd like to say that they haven't gotten to yet?
Oh, one thing I did want to add. One of the worst things I think any of us have probably ever heard is, "Hey, why don't you get a rail job?"
We've all heard it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One I don't hear too much anymore, but I used to, because a lot of people know what I do for a living, because a lot of them end up in my treatment center. But one I used to hear all the time. "So, where are you going to sleep tonight?"
Oh no.
I said, "In my bed. Where are you going to sleep tonight?"
Oh wow.
"Oh, well, I gave you a 20. I would have gave you," I said, "Do you need it back?" Because I'm going to pay some bills with that.
Right.
But a lot of them, the homeless thing used to really bug me, because I had been there and done that. And then and I was really thin-skinned about it for a long time. And I found when I quit being so thin-skinned about it, people quit thinking I was homeless.
That's something.
For some reason. Yeah.
So we got the jam to go on to right now. You guys got anything in mind that you wanna play together?
I'm open. I'm
me too.
ready. Yeah.
I'm following
Playing the
those.
drums,
I'm
so-
following those guys.
All right, well,
I got it easy.
that's kind of attitude I like. Well, everyone will just look at each other. Eventually, someone's gonna start playing something.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah. Cool.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right, well, let's hit it.
Okay.
All right.